Jace was horrified to find that his home was covered in mysterious black splotches, but when he stared at them closely, the black marks would suddenly vanish into thin air. Panicked and disoriented, he bolted from the room and rushed outside to get help from his neighbor, only to discover that half of the neighbor's body had been corroded away. Jace was terrified. He turned and ran into the streets, desperate for answers. But what he saw next was even more disturbing. The entire world was decaying, twisted upside down in a surreal and nightmarish way. The people walking the streets, none of them were whole. They moved with blank expressions, like soulless husks wandering aimlessly on autopilot. As Jace stood frozen in disbelief, a grotesque creature suddenly charged toward him. He thought for sure this was the end, but at the last second, a heavily armed figure appeared and saved him. The group blew the monster to pieces and dragged Jace away without hesitation. But to his horror, the creature didn't stay dead. Its body began to slowly regenerate, and it started chasing them again. The four of them fled until they reached the edge of a broken cliff. Jace was paralyzed with fear, unable to move, until the team leader shoved him off. He plummeted downward, then slid into a strange area filled with traditional Chinese architecture. Before he could even process the shift in scenery, the other three landed behind him, immediately pulling him to his feet and continuing their escape, completely ignoring the lively, bustling world around them. They left the floating landmass, crossed a bridge made entirely of black blots, and before long, they arrived in Venice, a water city eerily intact in this warped dream world. They reached yet another broken bridge. Without hesitation, the three jumped across the gap, free falling through mid-air and landing on a building across the way. Jace watched in disbelief, his heart pounding, afraid to follow. But with the monster right behind him, he took a deep breath and jumped. After a moment of falling, he was suddenly lifted up, then quickly plunged downward again. He barely managed to grab onto a rooftop, his fingers clinging desperately as he hovered above the void. Meanwhile, the monster had leapt as well, but there was nowhere left to run. In a split-second decision, one of the team members pulled out a super bomb. With a look of calm resolve, they sacrificed themselves to blast open a new escape route. Only after the chaos settled did Jace finally learn the truth. This place was the world of dreams. Anyone who falls into a coma in the real world ends up here. No one remembers their name or who they were. Everything in this world, the buildings, the object, the people, are formed from the fragments of their fading memories. And the monsters hunting them, they're the dead. Their brains have already died, but the machines keeping their bodies alive haven't been shut off. And when the brain dies, but the system doesn't, this world creates something terrifying to take their place.